Good morning, Patreoners. How is it going? We've got about 5 minutes until the market is open. 441.61. The market is definitely shaking and baking right here. We've got S1 R1 plotted just about the high and the low of the pre-market ranges. Today, remember, is going to be open Discord day where everyone can see. If you see some people popping in there, they won't be able to type and interact, but they will be able to listen and view. So welcome if they're on the channel. We just had some bearish news come out about Russia, which is what I've been looking for a potential catalyst today. And they said that they're going to be start to evacuating all diplomats and their families from the country, from Ukraine. Which is not really boding well for the environment for the situation. I'll try to keep you apprised as much as possible going into the day. The name of the game today is major volatility. Obviously, we all know what happened yesterday. Incredible sell-off. One of those days, man, like everyone says that I wish they could have traded coronavirus. Well, that's what happened yesterday. That was a little peek into the environment that we had in February and March of 2020. It's funny because people either didn't make money or those who didn't make enough. I mean, even I had a pretty significant gain on puts, but if I would have held them for 20 minutes longer, I would have turned a 100% win into a 500% win. So aggravations all around. Name of the game today is I highly encourage trading caution more than normal. This is an extremely volatile and extremely fragile market. People think that we can't dip anymore and we could just go on and continue dipping here. It all depends on news from Russia. It depends on how any kind of statements from the government is going to come out about the news, about how the global markets are going to digest this news, which they all are bright red, by the way, Europe and Asia. So be on the lookout today. If you are usually playing spreads, I would encourage you not to play spreads today. Don't even think about spreads. A move can go against your position. You think you're 100 points out, you're good to go, and you're going to get smoked. So please stay away from spreads. Stick to long positions. Minimize your downside, minimize your risk. Make money on long positions instead of taking a PCS. Just take a call, and vice versa. Anyway, Lil B will be joining us on the chat again today. I'm going to go ahead and get him on so we avoid any kind of delays from the other day. And there he is, invited to speak. He should be up here in a few moments. But yeah, Little B will be joining us again today to discuss a few things. So yesterday, I kicked off the first time ever a live voice trading channel for Tier 3. And in my attempt to bring more value to the Tier 3 members, I did a short session yesterday where we come on. The members of Tier 3 jumped on the voice stream, and I actually went over vocally vocalizing my entries and exits from a scalping perspective, just kind of go over a different educational environment, and they seem to really like it. So that'll be a part of the Tier 3, and you'll be able to access that if you sign up for Tier 4 on February 1st. Lil B, can you hear me yet? You on here yet? There he is. What's going on, man? How you doing? I am tired, man. I've been up since 1100 last night, doing some futures trades, made a little money last night. How are you? I saw you popping in and out there. Did you ever make a little money last night? I think you might have your push to talk on. Yeah, actually, yeah, yeah. It was 2300 to be. Yeah. I love it. I love it. I love it, man. I was getting tired there at about 5 o'clock in the morning, but I executed my last trade when we had that big red action there about 5 o'clock, and I executed that put, and I jumped back in bed for about an hour or so. So yeah, but it's gonna be a fun day. Oh, come on. You know you won't be able to help yourself. There you go. Wow. For sure, for sure. That was a big $2 move right out of the gate. Two big old candles, smoking some green off the green candles, off the opening of the market. Mixed bag right now. I've got a lot of heavy red and a lot of heavy green. Netflix is absolutely getting destroyed right now. Amazon is getting hosed. Nvidia is getting destroyed. Just all around mayhem. XLF opened up with a big red candle flushing down. VIX is up 27.28. That's the VIX I've been looking for. We'll see if we spike above 30. And SPY is still holding 44527. Pop it up to the post-market highs from yesterday, 445.86. We'll see how we respond there. Now over S2. 44.88. It's a lot of fours right there. QQQ, little bottom wick. VIX down here is 27 again. Bonds, what are the bonds doing down here? 143.40. Bonds have been on an absolute rocket fest for a number of days now. Rates, big gap down from 1.84 down to 1.75. Little bottom wick here. I am suspect of any major green action today. Obviously, I will. Yeah, yeah, for sure, for sure. Definitely a trade caution today. Obviously, if for some reason we do get a rally today, I will obviously, take my put hat off and put my call hat on. But that is the name of the game right now. Not playing any spreads. I'm not even going to touch spreads today. I closed out all of my PCSs yesterday. I didn't even have a call credit spread open. I had, I think, 5 or 6 PCSs open. Closed them all. And obviously that was a great move because they would have went in the money yesterday afternoon at that big sell-off there. So yeah, today not even going to test the waters. I'm just going to play some scalps, maybe some day trades, try to get some money in, and finish off a very fantastic week. Yesterday was one of the biggest days I've had profit-wise in about 2 years. It was fantastic. So I was hoping everyone else was able to make a little money and learn a little something too, because we are in unprecedented times and seeing unprecedented movements in the market up and down for a couple of weeks now. And yesterday was unbelievable. 60 to 70 point climb followed by a 15-point sell-off from highs, which is insane. Absolutely. Yeah, definitely. And that's exactly right. And NASDAQ, by the way, someone just made a comment, why is NASDAQ flying and SPY is not? There are other sectors of X that incorporate SPY are weighing it down. XLF is getting roasted right now, as well as XLI and a couple other ones. So SPY is a little more weighted right now than the NASDAQ, because NASDAQ is quite strong at the moment. Very large green candles here. But unsupported volume so far. We did have one single large volume node, but other than that, the volume is starting to diminish here, so careful on that. And SPY has a nice little green here coming up to R3. The R levels are going to be a little less important today because of the volatility. When you have incredible volatility, the daily SR levels start to become watered down. As price action starts blasting through levels like they're not even there, it doesn't even matter because the moves are so aggressive and so volatile that it's hard to rely on any particular sports except for extreme outliers. So that's why I put some caution on R5 and S4, because those are extreme outliers rather than the R1, R2s. So just be aware of the R5 as we do approach. If we do come up that far, we're now at 446.19, which is about $3 off of pre-market lows. I watched price action for a good part of 6 hours this morning, and it was choppy, but in a defined range, and it was beautiful to play put scalps off of, which is precisely what I did. I took three decent positions and made some pretty good money last night. So honestly, I will see how this green action starts to incline, and then figure out where to go from there. Uh huh. Yeah, I as well. In fact, that's the reason why I was awake at that hour of the day, because I was expecting some more maybe heaviness or even more volatility, but we did not get that. VIX red down to 26.34. Definitely, definitely. And for me personally, every time I see a big level of volatility like this, and especially when you have unknowns and volatility, that makes for a recipe for disaster if you're not careful. So I trade carefully when I do have extreme environment, especially this. None of us in this room has seen this at least for 2 years. And if you are new to investing in the Corona boom, you have not seen this action ever. You are completely new to this. So a lot of people are expecting bounces. Even still, in the face of a 15-point sell-off, everybody on Twitter is still buy the dip, buy the dip. This thing is going to have a face. I literally saw the term face-ripping bull rally, and I'm like, are you kidding? So it's just that's what people think, and that's precisely what is going to destroy the majority of the retail accounts that open is because they want to buy the dip and it just doesn't stop dipping, and eventually you'll get margin called or you'll zero out your account before the dip actually does come to be bought. Oh yeah. Yep, there's definitely. Don't try to catch the top of the bottom because it will surprise you, and when it does, it'll do it with a lot of zeros behind it. All right, looking through the options chain here, the premiums are definitely spicy. At the money positions for zeros are even over $20 at the moment. Puts are slightly more elevated than calls. That's pretty much the normal. Big red candle here off of S3. Yeah, absolutely nuts. Absolutely nuts. Yeah. Definitely not what we're used to seeing here in the SPY and SPX. And if you go back, this is a good indication to do some chart analysis for SPY on the Corona crash because even in the midst of that massive sell-off for the Corona crash, there are big green candles strewn about the chart. And I guarantee you, every single person, every time they saw that big green candle, like, oh, the dip's here, buy the dip, and they get destroyed every single time. There's like 6 or 7 big green candles on that Corona chart. So go back and take a look, see how it acts. Anyway, got a little red here, rejecting off S3. Yep, yep. Look, XLF is forming new lows here, so pay attention to other stuff except for tech. Tech is got this little bitty relief rally, but XLY is very much red. XLV is trying to go red. XLF red. P is up in green, and the XLI is red, and the others are pretty low volume there. So right now, look at the big red candles there, finally coming in on Nasdaq, trying to come back down to the morning gap. If you're talking about long-term portfolios where you're looking at stocks like for the decades, uh, when the dip starts to dip when it starts to sell off, start buying on the way down. Just don't do a full 100. Wow, big red candles here. Don't do a full red allocation at one particular point. Just scale in as the dip goes down, so that way you get a various different number of entry points. So average down. That's the name of the game for long term. Nice big red candles here off of S3. Mm-hmm. Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, for sure, for sure. Definitely, definitely. I think when you're talking about a long-term stock, the 20-year needs to be the minimum, the minimum. And if you think about it, what happened 20 years ago? 20 years ago was 2002, and that was right in a prime time buying opportunity for Amazon and those stocks. So I would think 20 years is the minimum you need to be looking at buying and holding stocks. After that, I want to hold for the long term. I mean, imagine holding. I mean, where's Amazon going to be in 30 years? Is it going to be 8,000? Is it going to be 10,000? Pre stock split. Where's the SPY going to be in 30 years, 40 years? So, imagine, all this is to change your family tree from the long term, and it's not going to happen overnight. So, long term averaging down is fantastic. A couple of red candles here, a lot of shaking and baking. I'm going to be looking at getting in a trade when we come down to S1. Nope. There are so many headwinds in this market right now. I would be surprised by any kind of bull rally at least in the short term. There's just way too many headwinds here, and we're down here at 44.55 as we're blowing through so many supports. So who knows? Maybe I'll eat my words today, but that's just my thoughts. Yeah, this is the beginning of a great buying opportunity for long-term portfolios for sure, for sure. We got FOMC next week. Even SpotGamma was saying that they don't really necessarily expect a bull rally until after the FOMC release, which might be a great swing call opportunity after that. Well, they're going to have to address the situation. That's the thing. There's a lot of sentiment going on, bearish sentiment going on around the globe. By the way, big red candles here. I'm going to try to bring up my option chain here. Now that we've kind of filled that morning gap, I want to look at positions here as we've been bumping gums here. Watch out lows. Nasdaq forming new lows here. Right here. I'm going to be testing a couple of zeros as well as January 24th on SPX, so I'll be popping in and out. Back to pre-market lows right here. Could be a very crucial point. Little green candle here off of S1. All right, a couple of YouTube comments here. Let's see. How many DTE do you target for scalps, assuming the single legs? For just quick scalps, I'm doing very short DTE, 0 to 1. My normal trades, I'm doing 3 to 4 to 5 day DTs. Rare in the past few months, I've kind of gotten away from the 5 days just because they're, I've attuned my system so much that I can take a little bit shorter DTE and maximize profits because I'm not getting the returns I like on the 5 day the 5 DTs. Big green candle right off of S1, which if you see the OM analysis, S1 is a considerable support, and it's been showing that all day long, all morning, all night, and then of course it's just respected that today in the session. That right there is why I'm telling people not to trade spreads. We have major moves one way or the other. I would hate to see someone take a spread that's 50, 60 points out. They, oh man, this is nice. I'm going to get my 50, 60%. And then by lunchtime, you are eating some crow pie. So, big $2 candle there coming up to S2 again. Yeah, crazy stuff. Volatility, VIX is still holding 26 right here in the middle. I'm going to put, let's see, let's figure out a good pivot. I'm going to throw a first pivot here, 25.98, and I'm going to put top pivot right here, 27.44. Yeah, crazy stuff, man. Crazy stuff. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, and that's unfortunately Peloton is well, not fortunately, it's a very heavily manipulated stock, and we see what happens when that thing when the Corona market got a hold of it and rallied that thing over $100, and now it's right back down to the gutter. So crazy stuff. A couple of red candles here off S2. Oh, I'm sure they will. I'm sure they will. Everyone's busy trying to make some money. All right, 44, 444.94 here. Nice little bottom wick after a nice big thick red candle. There is a sense of calmness in being in cash in these different market conditions. Like the market can't touch you if you're in cash. The only thing that can touch you in cash is inflation, which could be an issue here in the next coming years. But in terms of trades, it's nice to be in cash. It's nice knowing that the market's very volatile and you can sit pretty and watch things happen with no consequence. Debit spreads, yeah, and the whole thing behind the credit spreads is that you have to be ready to defend aggressively at a moment's notice because this market will turn on you in a second. So it's great to take some nice thick premiums when volatility is very high and premiums are juiced, but the problem is when position goes against you, you can get smoked in a second. You can get smoked in a second. And the defense of it is why I'm advising caution, because not many people know how to defend the positions carefully in a manner that which limits the downside. Because we all know, if you've ever had a credit spread get tested, the losses get bad, and then they get worse, and then they get Armageddon levels very quickly. There's a range at which the point you see the losses get red, they get really bad. You're like, holy crap, I'm at the red, but I'm still okay. And then about 10 minutes later, you're like, all right, I have to file bankruptcy now. It goes red that much. And if you do not know how to defend those positions, you can get yourself in hot water very, very quickly. That's one of those things. Like that's why I'm telling you, if you do know how to know to defend the position when your feet are in the fire, how to defend, then please don't trade their spreads because they're not worth it when things go wrong. Mhm. Oh yeah, definitely. What is the next step? You always have to be thinking forward on your toes. Exactly right. All right, it is 8:53 Central. We've got 12 minutes before the morning range is set. We are at the bottom, 444.10 on SPY. Nasdaq is testing the bottom of their previously formed range, although the range is not set yet. That's exactly right. Exactly right. Form your thesis. Form your thesis on your position, and when that thesis fails, the position is no longer valid, and then the only reason why you're remaining in that position is hopium. So form your thesis and hold that position as long as you are remaining in the bounds of that thesis. And then once that breaks, get out of the position. All right, a little bit. We got a big old top wick here on the Nasdaq, testing the bottom of their range and starting to look pretty bearish. We're breaking down here. A lot of top wicks. The VIX is still green and climbing here, and we're hollowing out the bottom of this morning AM range. Yeah, we're at. Let me see. Oh man, man, 425 is too close for me. What's the? It depends on the date. You said it's in February. They said. I don't see the questions. I'm looking for it. I mean, we're not used to such quite bearishness, but nothing's out of the realm of possibilities. If you're talking about 375, I'd say yeah, you're probably safe. But 425, I mean, if we decide to hit that sell button and rally and have a complete blowout, 425 is within that. So, for me, it depends on the percentage and it depends on your thesis. If I took an iron condor like that at a particular point based on a particular thought, and that thought process fails, I don't want to be holding the stress of that position. I want to go ahead and cut it loose and move on and re-enter a different position instead of looking and romanticizing that one particular position. Get out of that position and allocate that money into a different position that's better suited for profits. I know we hate hitting that exit button on red positions and officially taking that loss, but don't romanticize that position. Get out and go to a different position. Amazon forming new lows, the big red flush candle down to 29.56, which is crazy to see Amazon back under 3,000 now. Now here, that's precisely what you said, is that the earnings reports are not the saving graces that we once are accustomed, as we got accustomed to in the past few years. And that's precisely why this market is going to be a lot different, because the big mega techs that we are so used to saving us, like Amazon, Tesla, Apple, all those big names, they're going to start reporting bad earnings, and they've been propping up the market heavily. And what happens when that prop is removed? So that's what I'm saying. This market is going to be a little differently. It's going to behave differently this year than the last few years. Can't get any buyers to step in right here. We're holding the bottom of the AM range. We have 5 minutes till that 10:05 Eastern time. Where are we going to move? Up or down? Up or down? Here's a nice little green. Nice little green. Can't break through that 8. Let's go, Lee Rat. Let it run. Yeah, I got that 27.44 pivot, and it is rejecting just under that. Just under that. Top wicks, even on this green candle, cannot hold a green. And I want to look through big tech here and see what's going on. Apple is doing the same. Amazon is just looking terrible. And that green candle wicked out and flipped to red. Not looking good. That is a bearish sentiment right here, right before that 10:05, and I'm looking to take puts on that candle. What a destructive candle that was. Wow. Yep, there goes Nasdaq. There goes SPY coming on down 442.70. Absolutely hollowing out that range big time on a big reversal from 444.28 to 442.80. That's almost a $2 candle that we're getting here. So this is extreme conditions. Extreme conditions. Yeah, yeah. All right, we've got some red action here. Booyah. What do you think, guys? Guys, I think it take strangle 50 points out on both directions until Monday. I would be very. That's too close for me. 50 points is nothing. I mean, we're having $20 candles right here. I would not be taking a 50-point strangle right now. Way too close. Way, way, way too close. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, buying the strangle. Okay, I see. I thought you meant riding a strangle. All right, my bad. All right, so yeah, that Nasdaq, that 14,700 that we've now broken below is a key level. Is a key level. So watch out for that. Now we're now in the 14,600s for the Nas. Christopher says, I've come across the claim on that delta can be used to see probability. Yes. That is, it's like an unofficial way to measure the probability. Yes. So if a delta's got a zero point 0.3, you could say that is a 30% chance that that position finishes in the money. I tend not to look at it that way, just because it brings a little ambiguity into things. I like to be a little more analytical than that. But yeah, that is one way to look at delta. Yes. Every green candle is getting destroyed here. Top wicks down here. Now we're touching S3. S4 is the big heavy one today. So S1 and S4. We blew through S1 after we're testing it a few times and bouncing off of it a few times. So the SPY is nearing that 200 simple moving average, which I posted in the OM analysis channel earlier today. That is a very, very crucial line, and one that should be respected at least a little bit. A little bit. I'm going to zoom out to the 1 year here and take a look at it. And just for y'all's perspective, we're going to change this over to 200. 50 is in the past right now. There's the 200. 200 is now, what do we got for it? 441.86. So we are $1.10 away from that 200 moving average. Haven't touched it since the Corona crash. Let's see what can happen. Little green action. Little green action. It's a volatile day for sure. You know, when you got $2 candles, I mean, think about if you're playing a 0 DT position, and you get caught in a $2 candle against you. You're done. Going out to the 60-minute, want to look on the hourly time frame. That's the 60-minute candle right there. Big wick on both end, top and the bottom. That body is right in the middle of the candle. Take a look at the 15-minute and the 3-minute. There's that little top wick right there on that 3-minute. VIX blasting through that upper pivot. Nasdaq's got some nice little top wicks here. So let's see how we react here. $10:05 time. $10:05 time. Where are we gonna go? All right, so got order form ready to go. I got the option chains pulled up, ready to go. Like I said, I'm going to be playing both the 24th and the afternoon expiration contract, so a 0 and a 3-day contract. So my option chain is good though. Not having any issues with my option chain here. It looks like we're not moving all that much, but this candle is over $1 in size. So just make sure you're scaling appropriately because that is a considerable amount of movement. Yeah. That's right. Yeah. Definitely. Still holding 442.82, bottom of the AM range. This AM range is quite wide as it now set. We've got it up here, 446.66, and down here at 442. So about a $4 range, which is it's a massive range. It is, yeah, definitely. I mean, that's only what 6 points away, so I mean that's very possible. Look at that big red, all the way down to session range. Every single green is sold off. That's been the name of the game all pre-market too. Every green rally is sold, and here we are testing the bottom of that range. Currently looking at 44.35 0 DTE puts, and I'll be in and out of these. I guess like a tap dancer. I don't know. Whatever metaphor you care to use. Only if we get a move in one general direction. If we can get like a circuit breaker sell, like we get tired of this chop and then bam sell, yeah, that's what I'm looking for. There it is. Booyah. Hey, sorry to interrupt you there. I just took a put here, so I am riding this put down. I took that 44.35, which is just about in the money, which is kind of where I want to go, just so it degrades. But I'm just hopping in and out here. I'm already at a pretty decent percentage, but I'm just popping in and out quickly. So sorry to interrupt you. I didn't want to cut you off there. Yeah, that's what I'm watching. Nasdaq is forming new lows. We're down here. I want to come down. We got S3 at the moment. Look at that. Still big flush to the downside. Absolutely smoking it. Absolutely smoking it. Coming on down. I took a little bit off right there. Still holding the remainder of that position just in case I get a reversal there. But as we're if you notice, S4 is a considerable support, and that's where I'm looking to exit that position now. So they got this nice red candle. It's still adjusting up and down. It's still up and adjusting down to S4. But I just, like I said, popping in and out, rope a dope, like Muhammad Ali. Got this thing in the corner and see if we can get a rally down. Watching the Nasdaq here, 15,493 in the 500s now. In the 500s now. Yep, we finally touched that 200. I feel like there needs to be like balloons released in applause because that's the first time we've touched that baby in 2 years. 2 years. How come VIX isn't skyrocketing with a SPY drop? It definitely is. I mean, look at it. It just went from 27 to over 28. We're spiked over 28. So I mean, that's pretty heavy. Went ahead and took off the rest of that position. 21 bucks I got there on that last order fill for that put. I will be moving down towards a little bit lower here in the event that we break down. I just don't like that bounce off S4, not to mention we hit the 200. So I don't want to take off a face ripping reversal here on some puts just in case they do buy up, at least temporarily buy up there. So I took that position off the table right now over S4, completely out. There's that big bottom wick right there. Right off of S4 down to the penny. Penny. Exactly, exactly. Yeah, that's why I do not test the waters. And if I talked a great deal about this with my tier 3 subscribers yesterday, is that I do not test the waters when I'm doing scalps with zeros. Like I'm not looking for 100%, 200% wins. If I get it, great. If I get a rally like yesterday, prime example, and even then, I could have held that thing for 500% win, but I closed it early at like 100 and something. So When I'm scalping with shorter DTEs, 1, or 2s even, I'm not looking for the big win. I'm looking just to augment my weekly income. To hit that goal, get out. He sees some green, get out. 10, 15, 20%, get out. I'm not looking for 40, 50. If I catch a runner and it works out where I get 60 to 100%, great. Icing on the cake. Moving down to the 4420s. You said earlier you swapped from 4 to 5s to zeros. I didn't quite say that. I said I'm no longer doing 4 5s. I'm doing more like 2 or 3s, and then occasionally 4s, and then I'll throw in some zeros as well. So I'm trying to be as multifaceted as I can to provide you all with as much knowledge as I can. So you can kind of see my strategy for spreads, see my strategy for zeros, see my strategy for my normal stuff, which is 2, 3, 4. But I've pretty much eliminated the 5 DTE strikes because I wasn't getting the profits I was necessarily watched for. Plus now I'm getting so comfortable with the system is that I don't necessarily need to be that safe. That's a very a little safe for day trades. So yeah, yeah, definitely. For sure, for sure. By the way, look at this 1 hour candle on this chart here. Bottom wick, top wick, and we are smashed in between S1 and S4, the two big levels. Look at the body of that candle sandwiched in between there, which are those two big levels that we need to be paying attention to, which is a highlighted red there. Here, because I am, here, I'm going to show these things. Because it is an open Patreon day, I'll show prices. There you go. So there are the prices. That's not right. There we go. Okay, yeah. So there are the price of 44161 on the particular levels that we need to look at. So we came up R3 right here, rejected it pretty close. S4 came down to the low 441.60, which is 1 cent off of S4. So now the price action on that 60-minute right there is sandwiched in between the bright levels, which indicates strength right there, S4. So pay attention to those two levels as we start to attack them on either leg. Topwick City, though, on the 3-minute. Another flush of the red candles. Yeah, yeah. If I was a riskier individual, I would be shorting that thing into single digits. That thing is done for. Ah, not at all. Which is why, yeah, I would definitely short them into the ground if I was riskier. So I'm looking at these 4420 puts. If we break below S4, it could be it could be pretty insane on the volatility here, and I'll be looking to take a trade. So just stay on your toes. I'll try to tell y'all as fast as I can. Now, I will say yesterday was a very extreme volatility day. I elected on big red. Wow. I'll stop yapping my gums here. But looking for an entry here. Switch back to my try charts. I need that. Watch S4. NASDAQ is separating down. Could be a deal breaker here. Wow, look at that. Look at that action. Yeah. Nothing. No, when something like this, it's best to stay, in terms of holding anything, it's best not to, nothing's safe. You're precisely right. I'm going to put, by the way. Look at that. Big red engulfing candles after we smoke that bottom. NASDAQ is still separating with no wicks. Just absolutely just crushing it. Absolutely just crushing it. Took that 44.20 put. Nice little strong engulfing candle. Took out the swing low, prior low of that candle. Look at this action. Look at this action. 14,532. I'm still in a put and still holding. And this thing is coming on down. Took half at 2020 right there on this put. I'm still holding everything else. Insane, insane level. Look at that bottom wick right there. Look at that. Boom. Bottom wick's right here. Looking at for an exit here unless we get another flush. Finger is on the trigger for the remainder of this position. Big bottom wick right there. All right. Love this volatility, man. Makes for a lot of great positions. A lot of great positions. All right, trying to fill that candle back down. Look at that VIX, 28.45, trying to spike up more through that top heavy pivot. The buyers are not wanting to step in. The selling volume is increasing here, and that candle's starting to fill out. Bam! Look at that. Wow. Look at that candle. Talk about volatility, man. Crazy, crazy stuff. In and out, in and out, in and out. We might need an S6 soon. I think we might need an S6 for sure. But yeah, just what Cody said and what I said this morning here is that that's why I'm not going to be throwing down S7, S8, and S9 if we do fall, because it just doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter. Big, big green candles. Look at that. Booyah. No, no. It's crazy stuff. All right, still right back to S4. 442 even on SPY. No day to mess around for sure. Man, just quick in and outs. That's all it is. Quick in and outs. Top wick here. Little top wick. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Netflix down another 5%. Wow. So just as we broke through S4, big hammer green candle right back up to the bottom of that range. Bottom of that range. Yeah, definitely, definitely. Look at this massive green candle though. That's big. For sure, for sure. Yeah, but we got this follow-on green now, coming right back up to S1. Hammer, hammer candle right there. Right back to the over/under. Ah, no, well, it's separating, so it takes maybe a few minutes to read that. But yeah, it's bouncing off that, almost on that pivot, and bouncing on down. Coming up to VWAP, which is co-located with S1. Let's see how it reacts to there. Yeah, 270 people watching in that chat room. You mind hitting that like button? Helps the channel get a little more visibility with the other type of algos, not the trading algos, but the YouTube algos. I'd appreciate that. All right, little top wicks here. Still watching a nice little hammer green there. I want to zoom out to and take a look at the volume a little bit. Have a nice big volume hit right there on that buying. And now we've got some top wicks on this right here. I'll bring 4450 calls up in the event that we do a rally. And that's all I'm doing today is just popping it out very quick. Remaining safe. Yeah. Yeah, you know, like I said, in the Corona crash, there's always going to be those green bounces off of the seller. So we're not going to stall fall straight down. There'll be plenty of opportunities to buy any kind of relief bounce, but it'll be dealer's choice to see if we continue the selling action. And me personally, I definitely don't want to get euphorically bullish or anticipate any kind of bounce either. I want to look for all opportunities here. So I'll play this thing down, and if we have any kind of volume up, we'll be coming back up. Right now, looking at 44.50 calls, and if we come up, but it looks like we're not going to get that bounce because that big green sold off. And so all I'm doing is looking back and forth between the 44.20s and 44.50s on either side of that option chain. So I can just click in and out and bring up whatever I want. But right now, the volatility is still high, so that green candle came out of nowhere. So you see how volatile this is. So I'm just kind of being a little patient here. I got a couple of nice, good wins on the belt. VIX is separating off that high. Right off of the 8 and coming up to the S1. Strong green candles here. But you see how fast the chart changes right now with this volatility? Wow. Yeah. So I just watched these 44.50 puts or calls go from 17.50 to $24. So absolutely just roasted on that green candle. Nope, it didn't get in a position there. Just absolute huge move. It went from a nice little red downward candle, immediately got hammered, and off we go. So we came back inside that morning range. We're testing VWAP at the moment, and right back to S1. Looking for the next play. Looking for the next play. Got a little green here. Got a little green. 44.65 right back to the over under. Nice big green candles here. Big greens right back to the top of the morning range there. A nice little $5 move off of lows. Man, I can't believe the moves on this thing, man. Four from 440 to 445, little $5 move, just straight green Shrek candles up the top here. Yep, there it is, right back to the top. And that's what's going on today, man. Just crazy, crazy moves. Yeah, huge relief buy off of that major move right there, going on a $5 move right back to the top of the range. How can such a reversal happen so quick? Well, you've got major volatility and volume in this market. It's major volatility, which is precisely why it's very dangerous because that move can happen. We've seen this happen. This type of volatility happen a few times in the past few months, 6 to 8 months. I remember back late summer, early fall, right around there, where we had these type of days where we had $4 and $5 moves just back and forth. So in intraday. So it happens, and when that happens, you have to be careful because you can get destroyed very quickly. You're very welcome. You're very welcome. All right, right back down to S1. Still chopping in this range. All right, all right. So looking around here, just kind of peeking into the option chain to see what's going on here. Still not even considering spreads. That I want a nice, easy, relaxing day today. So I'm just going to play this thing accordingly. Got a few nice plays under the belt, especially out through the weekend, or I'm sorry, the pre-market, and don't want to ruin my weekend. Nice little red here after a strong, aggressive bounce. Yeah, those big greens spooked me out of scalping some puts right now. I need to see another breakdown here for me to jump into some other put scalp, but I'm more apt to take some call scalps if we do bounce. Those three big green candles are suspect. Yeah, I'm just chilling out. This thing lets this thing shake out here. Not, I'm just riding on this morning's high. Not going to jump into anything until I see a breakout. I'd love to test, but not to mention we're right in the middle of the AM range. I'd love to test the bottom of the top and then take the breakout or rejection. So I don't like to play buy right in the middle. What do I think about buying shares of SPY? That's something I do. It's something I've done throughout my entire career. I've never stopped doing that. So if you want to look at scalping stocks, that's one thing too. A lot of day traders do precisely that instead of options. Obviously, you're going to face smaller profits, but you're also going to face smaller losses unless you start getting into the realm of margin, and then you can really get yourself in some unique positions to say the least. But yeah, shares are never stop buying SPY. Like I want to buy on the way down and buy on the way up because I'm thinking long term. You know me. Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Absolutely, and playing with margin requires a lot of caution too, because you can. I mean, I have learned firsthand. You over leverage yourself with margin. You got to pay that back, and it'll smack you. I am on the 3 minute chart, by the way. I trade on the 3 minute. I'll identify trends on the 5, 15, and even go out to the 60. But I trade actively off the 3 minute. Well, 80% is obviously definitely a stretch to think about. However, we're coming out of an unprecedented monetary policy that's about to be ripped out of the market. And who's to say that we won't have a very significant smash? I mean, we are SPY is now double what it was at the bottom of the Corona crash. Well beyond it now. Obviously, that happened back in the summertime somewhere. We actually hit double. So I well, it's the same thing. Like when a big crash happens like that, what can they do to stop it? I mean, there are several different things they can do. But after the problem is that we are in this unprecedented times of 2020 and 2021, where they've pumped trillions into the market and now they're removing that liquidity. So what could they really do? What resources do they have left to not let inflation spiral out of control, the market up? So nice little green here, coming back up to R2. What are my thoughts on order flow? I think order flow is very crucial to monitor. It's one of the tools that I do monitor. So order flow, block orders, open interest, volume, obviously. Any tool that's going to give me an indication of how the market is actually moving, what's actually being placed in the market. And that right there is why I am no longer scalping puts this morning, because the greens are still here. Look at that big green candle. All right, we start taking out the prior swing highs when I'll looking at maybe scalping some calls if we go above that. Obviously, things are quite V recovery mode, still getting some nice green hammers that are just blasting. Took out that prior swing high going up to the AM range. It's a good point. Veteran's making a fantastic point. There is no more normal with this much volatility. It just takes one Russian news event and we'll drop 50 points. And that's one of the major items on the hot plate, obviously. Yeah, if you're looking for volume analysis on these type of candles, you're most likely not going to get it, at least in a timely fashion. I mean, by the time you do any kind of analysis like that, you're going to you're going to either miss the move or you're going to get hosed in a losing position. So, price action is king on these particular movements, and even then, it's still extreme volatility. You need to trade with caution and very small position sizes. Told you couldn't hold off. Oh yeah. There's some red off the top of its range. Oh yeah. Biden speak. Someone said Biden speaking in 7 minutes. That could be iffy. So, so the U.S. government has already came out and pretty much laid down the gauntlet for the actions in Russia if they continue to push into Ukraine. And with Biden speaking here in 7 minutes, I would definitely look at position. If he said something along the lines of pushing us more towards a geopolitical event, the market could react. So be on your toes. Be on your toes. Well, in these market conditions, especially when we are dealing with a superpower, and I don't want to get too far into this, but it's a very tense situation, and I'm not going to talk into too much about strategy and thoughts, but you know, in terms of market views, is that the market does not like unexpected events, and of course, this is an unexpected event with unknown variables, which could throw us into a realm of volatility even higher than what we see now. So, all I'm saying is that stay on your toes and then respond appropriately to what we get in the market. And if Biden comes out and says, this is the gauntlet that's being thrown down if Russia crosses this line, so be it. And I would expect some pretty big selling action. Yeah, the remarks are supposed to be on that. However, at press conferences, the president is asked questions that's outside of the realm of, the scope of that particular engagement. So let's not get too far into politics here. I can see this conversation going downhill fast. So just keep it from what it is. We'll just stay on our tones with Russia, and so be it. We'll see what happens. Chris says, I love the free Patreon in the Discord. Glad you like it, Chris. Glad you like it. What's going to happen on FOMC? That's a highly anticipated event, especially with all this going on. With this crazy volatility and price movement, it'll be very curious to see what they say next week on FOMC. Well, you got to read through the lines from what they say. They can't come out and say something that's going to tank the markets altogether. They have to ease into it, and that's precisely what JPOW did over the course of the past year and a half, and they're doing that now with the rate hikes. And I fully anticipate doing above and beyond what they said. They said what 3 to 4 rate hikes, and I think it'll be more than that. Yeah, same thing they did with it with inflation is transitory. There's a rhyme to a reason. These are not stupid people. They know what they're doing. Yeah, yeah. All right, 44.65. Watch that level here. Hey, Wem, can you clarify what you saw you order to make that trade? I took a lot of trades. It was the engulfing flush there. So down here is when I took this put. I saw engulfing flush taking out prior lows, and then the Nasdaq doing the same under volume. So I took that put and wrote it down, closed it, and off we went upwards. But it's all about the volume and the price action itself. I'm playing that prior swing low where it's breaking the prior lows, and then as long as it's done under the sustainable price action and volume, then you can anticipate getting a successful put out of that, or a successful play, whichever one calls or puts. Trying to. Price is still holding the top of this range. 44.65 is that over under. We're watching that to be tested. We're 10 points above it now. We'll see what happens there. Oh, nice, Harlan. Well, thanks for that. Very good. Just reading some of the comments here in YouTube. Yep. Yeah, and I see like they're talking about the president's press conference is going to be tech related. Yes, that's very true. But the president, he's still going to be asked questions about, especially as he's walking off the podium. Hey, President Biden, what do you think about Russia? All that kind of stuff, and he probably, if he answers it, we'll see. Most likely he's going to be on his best behavior, but that's the stuff that happens. Amazon down 2.8%. That's my golden child, man. Amazon is my tech golden child. Boeing is my aviation golden child. And it's crazy to see Amazon below 3,000. I was a huge bull on Amazon in 2021, thinking it was going to hit 4. Never quite did. Here's a little red. And the value of this, I know our Discord, sometimes I get criticized for being too conservative, not taking enough trades, but I think the value in this particular Discord, and something that I'm very proud of, is that we are not about the 1,000% profits and YOLOs and big money. We're about preservation and small growth. And I think this year the value of this community is really going to shine as we change conditions and everyone starts getting blown up. All these guys that are claim the $1,000 to $1 million challenges start disappearing, and you start never hearing from them again. They start blowing up. If we do enter a bear flat market, even if it's just a flat market, people are going to get blown up. I think the value of this community where we can have constructive conversation in our channel that's mature and responsible and professional, as well as the people that we have on our team, is really going to shine. It's going to keep people safe. It's going to keep people in preservation mode and sustaining those small profits. So I'm very much looking forward to 2020. It's going for me it's difficult for my eye to trade the constant bull rally craziness. Just to buy the risk off buy calls, sit back and collect day after day for 2 years. It was starting to grate on my nerves because everybody was getting rewarded for irresponsible behavior. So now that the conditions will seem to be a change, and now you actually have to do some real trading and not just, put your feet up on the table and buy calls. So I'm very excited for the year. I'm excited. No, not at all. Yeah, definitely. Steven says 1K to $1 million challenge. That's so stupid. Yep, there's a guy on Twitter I saw. He claimed to have done it 3 times. The last one he did it between October and December. Apparently, he claimed to have gone from 1,000 to 1 million, which is ridiculous, obviously. But do you expect the community to grow or shrink? I mean, obviously, me being a positive person I am, I definitely want the community to grow. However, I do realize that there's going to be headwinds in the community as the retail starts to shift. The wins and the sales of retail investors is going to shift this year. So my goal is to provide a safe haven for the investing people that want to come into the community and actually preserve and persevere throughout 2022 and into a bear market. So we'll see. All right, big green candles off of R2, right back to session highs. And new highs of the day right there, blasting up. Nice little, it's just a smooth little, 90-cent candle, dollar and a half candle. You know, no big deal. No big deal. Yeah. That's why I'm sitting on my hands right now. I'm going to play the breakouts. In 30 minutes, we got the European close. All right, y'all, it's a little past 10 o'clock my time. I'm going to go ahead and wrap that up, call that the morning session. A lot of crazy volatility, few positions there for profits, not to mention the pre-market stuff. So a lot of great stuff going on here. We are now holding the top of the AM range, just above the over-under, and just under, at the moment, the morning range, 446.30 on SPY. So once again, I'm going to stress caution. Today's a fantastic day to sit out. Don't feel like you need to trade. I'll probably take some more trades throughout the day myself, just very small quantities popping in and out. Other than that, I hope you all remain safe. If you have any questions, please post them in any of the particular rooms, and you could add options later anytime, and I'll answer them as quickly as possible. Fantastic day for the community. I hope you all see some value in the discussions that we have and the people that we learn from and the things that we talk about. So thank you all for being here. I appreciate it. I will see the YouTube back Monday morning bright and early. Thanks, Little B, for hanging out with us again and giving us your commentary and insight. Hope you had a little fun again. Definitely. So I will see you all again on YouTube, like I said, on Monday. If we get a little shake and a bake in the afternoon, I'll pop back on voice stream this afternoon. Until then, be safe. Let me know if you got questions. I'm out. So you.